By one, boys emerge from the shadows of the jungle trees. On the surface, Lord of the Flies is a traditional and exciting adventure story, all schoolboys together on a tropical island without grown-ups. But in fact, William Golding uses them to describe how, faced with having to set up their own society and rules, they eventually descend into violence and chaos. It is in fact a chilling allegory that exposes just how fragile the civilization we take for granted can be. The book was published in 1954 and drew on Golding's experience in the Royal Navy during the Second World War and his career as a teacher.
My own immature boys that I see, I watch them carefully, and there does come a point which is very legible in their society, at which you can see all these things are within a second of being carried out. It's the master who gets the right boy by the scruff of the neck and hauls him back.
Yes.
He is God who stops a murder being committed.
Talking about Lord of the Flies with me are three young actors, Neville Hutton, Farouk Khan and Dan Crowther, who've recently starred in a stage production of the book, and the director of the show, Marcus Romer. Neville Hutton played the part of Piggy, the outsider. He's fat, wears glasses, and his accent points him out to be lower class.
Piggy stands for reason and science. He's the first one to introduce, really, the problems of the circumstances that they're going to face on the island, and tries to attempt to organise them. Partially because of his own circumstance, that he needs the group to help him, because he's the weakest of characters, in the sense that he has bad sight, and he's an asthmatic, and he's not athletic like the others, but he does have the ability to think more like an adult than the others do. He's more mature mentally, in the sense that he can see the problems that they have to face.
Ralph, on the other hand, is much more self-assured. His father is an officer in the Royal Navy, and he goes to an expensive school. So does Jack Merridew, head boy at a choir school. To begin with, they seem very similar and strike up an immediate friendship. The conch becomes a powerful symbol of democracy, an echo of the adult world. Whoever has the conch is allowed to speak. The boys decide that they should vote for a chief. Jack naturally assumes it will be him, but it's Ralph who's elected. It was he, after all, who called them. Duties are assigned, shelters have to be built, and the Niflheim's counted. As a concession, Jack remains in charge of the choir. Their job, to hunt wild pigs, something which strikes in him a primitive chord and arouses his bloodlust. But there's also a meanness about Jack. He's bossy and cruel, especially towards Piggy, whose glasses are the only means they have to make fire. Jack and his band of hunters finally kill a wild pig. Now they can eat meat. But his triumph is short-lived. In the excitement of the hunt, the members of the choir who were supposed to keep the fire alight have let it go out. Ralph is furious. A ship was spotted, and they had a chance to leave the island if only they had smoke for a signal.
One of the smaller hunters began to wail. The dismal truth was filtering through to everybody. Jack went very red as he hacked and pulled at the pig. The job was too much. We needed everyone. Ralph turned. You could have had everyone when the shelters were finished, but you had to hunt. We needed meat. Jack stood up as he said this, the blooded knife in his hand. The two boys faced each other. There was the brilliant world of hunting, tactics, fierce exhilaration, skill, and there was the world of longing and baffled common sense.
It's a crucial moment in the book and shows the beginning of a rift between the two boys. But any ill feeling is soon overtaken by another problem, a growing sense of fear amongst the Niflheims. Many have had nightmares about a beast. Some even believe they've seen it. Even some of the older boys are scared and begin to believe in the beast. One night, the terrified twins, Sam and Eric, reports having seen it while on fire duty, a mysterious, unidentifiable shape crouching low among the rocks. Ralph and Jack rekindle their friendship by making a search of the island. By nightfall, they too discover the beast. It makes a sudden movement, and terrified, Ralph and Jack run for their lives. In reality, the beast is the body of a dead airman whose parachute the wind has carried onto the island. Instead of unifying the group, the discovery of the beast serves only to deepen the rivalry between Ralph and Jack. Jack insists on another leadership vote, but to his dismay and fury, once again Ralph is voted chief. Jack storms off to hunt by himself, and gradually, a few at a time, his hunters follow him. For good reason, according to Dan Crowther.
They're sick of eating fruit. They've got upset stomachs from eating so much fruit, and they want to rebel, they want to get away, they want to have fun. And Ralph, who represents this order and this stability, by building shelters and looking out, it's just, for kids, it's boring. You can't continue doing that. You have to go out and discover what else can be on this island. And that's what they do. It's not to do with shirking order or anything, it's just about getting out, rebelling.
Jack kills again, but this time he skewers the pig's head onto a stick and sets it up as an offering to the beast. Out of all the boys, Simon is the only one who doesn't fear the island. But because he's sensitive and shy, the others regard him as odd, even mad, especially since he wanders the jungle on his own. Like Piggy, he's an outsider, but unlike Piggy, who rationalises things, Simon's comments are full of insight which the boys can't comprehend.
In our play, he's an epileptic, and when I researched it, I felt that Golding wrote him as an epileptic as well. And it's one of those things that when children don't understand what's wrong with you, they will always attack you.
It's Simon who comes across the festering pig's head, the Lord of the Flies, and sees that it's merely symbolic for all the evil and wrongdoing that they have committed. He thinks he hears the head speaking to him.
Fancy thinking the beast was something you can hunt and kill, said the head. For a moment or two, the forest and all the other dimly appreciated places echoed with the parody of laughter. You knew, didn't you? I'm part of you. Close, close, close. I'm the reason why it's no-go. Why things are what they are.
Simon decides that he must climb the mountain and face the beast for all their sakes. While he's gone, Jack and his gang are preparing a feast to celebrate his leadership, which Ralph and Piggy reluctantly decide to join in. This is a pivotal moment. The island itself takes on a heavy, brooding atmosphere. Storm clouds are gathering. By the time Simon arrives to tell them what the beast actually is, the gang have worked themselves into a frenzy of dancing, mimicking the killing of the pig. They are not prepared for Simon's entrance, and in their fear see him as the beast.
Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! The noise was unendurable. Simon was crying out something about a dead man on a hill. Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Do him in! The sticks fell and the mouth of the new circle crunched and screamed. The beast was on its knees in the centre, its arms folded over its face. It was crying out against the abominable noise, something about a body on the hill. The beast struggled forward, broke the ring and fell over the steep edge of the rock to the sand by the water. At once the crowd surged after it, poured down the rock, leapt onto the beast, screamed, struck, bit, tore. There were no words and no movements but the tearing of teeth and claws.
Jack's domination is complete when he steals Piggy's glasses, the source of fire. Outraged, indignant and alone, Ralph and Piggy confront Jack. But by now, Jack has established a reign of terror. His gang are completely wild and beyond any reason. The attempt to retrieve the glasses ends in more tragedy as Piggy is swept away by a huge, dislodged boulder. Ralph is attacked but escapes, only to discover that his fate is to be hunted like a pig the next day. The book ends with Ralph evading the hunters and finding sanctuary in the form of a naval officer alerted by smoke rising from the burning island. Slyly, almost without hesitation, Jack reverts to being an innocent choir boy.
It comes back to those extreme situations when a lot of the rationality tends to go out the window, and that is really one of the things that is
that's really dangerous, because everyone's been in a football crowd, everyone's been in a sense where you feel you're in the right, or you're in a large majority, and it can be very compelling, and it gets also very, very scary. And that's why it's especially chilling that Jack does stand at the side at the end, and he does get away with it, because people do get away with it, and they'll continue to get away with it.
Lord of the Flies raises a number of key points about human nature. Given that it was written shortly after the Second World War, there are obvious parallels with the rise of Nazism. But also, William Golding shows that there is good and evil in all of us. Ralph and Jack are two sides of the same coin, but how we maintain the balance is ultimately up to us. Do we simply follow others because they are louder or stronger, or do we think more carefully about how our actions will affect others? The choice is ours.